All right, guys, today we have some very big news to go over and talk about regarding Ghost of Tsushima, as Sony and SuckerPunch have announced today that it will be getting a free multiplayer update called Ghost of Tsushima Legends, and it will be coming to the PlayStation 4 fall 2020. Now, not only is this very, very unexpected, I don't think anybody saw this coming. I know I didn't. It also sounds like it's going to be something that is fully fleshed out and has a lot to offer. And we could potentially even see this become a standalone Ghost of Tsushima multiplayer game that could eventually be sold on its own, or maybe even one day go free to play, because there's a lot on offer here. And not only that, but they're actually going in a completely different direction, as you can see here, where it says it's inspired by Japanese mythology. And to me, that sounds absolutely awesome. I am really happy to see this. And I want to take a few minutes here to go over the information with you guys, as well as give you my thoughts on this. So before we go any further, if you could do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the bell notification icon. But this blog post was written up by Darren Bridges. This is the senior game designer over there at Sucker Punch Productions. Says, today I am very excited to reveal Ghost of Tsushima Legends, a new online cooperative multiplayer mode that will come as a free download for Ghost of Tsushima owners on the PS4 later this year. Legends is an entirely new experience. It's a separate mode that doesn't follow Jin or the companions from his journey, but instead focuses on four warriors who have been built up as legends in stories told by the people of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima's single player campaign focuses on an open world and exploring the natural beauty of the island, but Legends is haunting and fantastical, with locations and enemies inspired by Japanese folk tales and mythology, and an emphasis on cooperative combat and action. So, right off the bat, they're making it very clear that this is going to be a completely different experience in many ways from the single player story you played in Ghost of Tsushima, where that is grounded in reality. And as they say, you're meant to explore the natural beauty of the island. This is going to be the polar opposite of that. It's focusing on Japanese folk tales and mythology, and it's going to be haunting and fantastical. And that sounds so cool to me. That is way cooler than if they were to just say you're facing normal enemies once again. I love that they're going in this direction, and I think it's just the best thing, honestly, for the game. So it goes on to say here, we designed Legends to be an exclusively cooperative gameplay experience. You'll be able to partner up with friends or via online matchmaking and play Legends in groups of 2 to 4 players. Each player can choose from one of 4 different character classes: the samurai, hunter, ronin, or assassin. Each class has unique advantages and abilities that will reveal in the future. So that's really neat. They're letting you know that there will be 4 different classes, and each class will have their unique abilities and different advantages. And I would assume you're going to be able to kind of level up each class and unlock these abilities and advantages over time. If the way you play the story of Ghost of Tsushima is anything to go by, I would think that's a safe assumption. It says here, with 2 players in Ghost of Tsushima Legends, you'll be able to play a series of co op story missions that escalate in difficulty, building on the foundation of combat from the single player campaign with new magical twists that often require careful synchronization with your partner. Now, this sounds really cool to me. I want to focus on this for a second, not everything I just highlighted, but this specifically, because this tells you that this is not just some tacked on multiplayer. I mean, we're going to go over the other components to this multiplayer, but it's going to offer co op story missions that you can play with one other player. And it sounds like they're actually going to be making it more difficult than maybe anything you have faced in the single player campaign of Ghost of Tsushima, because they're emphasizing that with the difficulty and how it ramps up, but that you're really going to have to work with your co-op partner to actually complete it. And that just sounds so cool to me. I love this. I absolutely love what they're doing here. But continuing right along here, it says, with 4 players, you'll be able to take on wave-based survival missions, fighting groups of the toughest enemies Tsushima has to offer, including the new Oni enemies with supernatural abilities. That sounds awesome. I can't wait to see what these new fantastical enemies look like and how they're going to play. Sounds like it's going to honestly add an entirely different layer of gameplay and mechanics that we just haven't seen in Ghost of Tsushima so far. And it goes on to say, If you can best the story and survival missions, you may be confident enough to take on the 4-player raid that will arrive shortly after the launch of Ghost of Tsushima Legends, sending you and your partners to an entirely new realm to challenge a brutal, terrifying enemy. How awesome does that sound? This is the part of this blog post that really surprised me the most. Not only is it already shocking enough that we're hearing that Ghost of Tsushima is getting a free multiplayer update, but shortly after they release that to everybody for free, we're going to get a raid, a 4-player raid. That is insane to me, and I am extremely excited for this. Like, I can't believe they're actually going all in here with this. And what this also tells me is that this could potentially be a standalone type Ghost of Tsushima multiplayer game that could maybe be sold on its own in the future or possibly even go free to play. That's what I'm getting based off of this, because it sounds like it's going to be amazing and it sounds like it's just going to work. So, they close this blog post by saying, "It's been so rewarding to see the amazing reactions from all of you as you play through Ghost of Tsushima. We've been watching so many of you stream your playthroughs and can't wait to open up this new way for all of us to play together. We're happy to offer this mode completely free to Ghost of Tsushima owners as a thank you to our players, and we look forward to hearing what you think. We'll have much more to share on Legends as we get closer to launch, including details on character classes, customization, and more. Thank you to everyone for your support of Ghost of Tsushima so far." Okay, so the way they talk about this is very interesting to me, because they are talking about it as if it's going to be its own separate launch. And that's kind of how I'm taking this, especially the fact that they're emphasizing something like a raid that will be coming later. It almost makes it sound like we can continue to expect more and more updates in the future. Maybe I'm reading into it too much, but this sounds almost identical to what we heard about The Last of Us Part 2 and what that was supposed to be, to a certain extent, where they were going to have a multiplayer, but then they decided to actually make it its own standalone thing. And unfortunately, we haven't heard anything about it since then, officially, as far as I know, anyway. And we're all kind of waiting to hear about it. And what we're seeing now with Ghost of Tsushima is perfect. This is absolutely perfect, because as somebody who loves single player experiences and multiplayer experiences, the idea that I can pay $60 for Ghost of Tsushima, get that fully fleshed out, massive AAA single player experience, and then as a free update, they're going to bring what looks to be a pretty much fully fleshed out multiplayer co-op experience as well, that they're going to continue to add to. That's the only thing they don't really say in a concrete manner here. They don't say whether or not this is going to be something that's going to continue to get updated, but it really sounds to me like it will, based off of what they're saying about a raid. I mean, that part caught me completely off guard, because at this point, it really seems like we could end up seeing like a multiplayer Ghost of Tsushima game that kind of evolves. And I know some people can't stand the term, but possibly Ghost of Tsushima as a live service, and then eventually we'll get maybe a sequel or another fully fledged AAA single player story set in the same universe, right? This is so amazing to me. And again, I really have to give a ton of credit to Sucker Punch and the way they're handling this, because this is how you do it right. Okay, if they were charging for this, I think people would still be okay with that, because it sounds like it's going to offer a lot, but they're not charging for it. They're giving it away for free to anybody who bought the game. And, I can tell you right now, as somebody who paid $60 for Ghost of Tsushima, even though I haven't completed the game yet, I'm still making my way through it. But what I've played of it so far, there's more than enough there to justify a $60 purchase by itself. And so the fact that we're getting this for free is absolutely amazing. And, there's been a lot of talk recently about Sony being anti-consumer and whatnot. And to me, this just completely flies in the face of that, and honestly shuts that conversation down, because this is the opposite of anti-consumer. This is pro-consumer. And frankly, I am extremely happy about it. And I can't wait for it. Like, I have to say, the number one thing I'm really liking about this entire thing is the fact that they're going with the Japanese mythology and the folk tales and whatnot. That sounds like it's going to be so cool. I cannot wait for this. And yeah, I will be sure to cover this and continue to update you guys. I'm really interested to see what you guys think of this. So let me know your thoughts about this down in the comments below. Are you excited for Ghost of Tsushima Legends. How surprised are you about this? And do you think I'm correct in assuming or believing that we could potentially be looking at, in the long term, moving into the PlayStation 5, a live service Ghost of Tsushima multiplayer game that's separate from the single player story? Let me know down below. Leave the video a like if you did enjoy it. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and haven't already. Hit the bell notification icon so you never miss an upload, and feel free to share this video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.